Okay, so let's continue. We were talking about, modern China. We were talking about the people in mainland China after going through many communist movements, one after another, and through violence, through deception, the Chinese Communist Party has been transforming the normal Chinese people, wonderful Chinese people who had 5,000 years of splendid divine culture. Let's say traditional culture. A lot of people still don't understand what means divine culture yet. So let's say traditional culture, 5,000 years of traditional culture. And after 1949, the Chinese Communist Party possessed onto the entire nation of China and installed a system, a possessing system of communism onto every aspect of the entire Chinese society, and made people, go against, made the Chinese people go against the traditional Chinese culture, which means the true nature of the Chinese people, the true destiny of Chinese people, the true connection of Chinese people with nature, with the world, and with the heaven. And so, the central theme of the Chinese Communist Party, basically all Chinese people know about this slogan called 与天斗. 天 means heaven. 斗 means struggle. Struggle against heaven. 与地斗. 地 means earth. To struggle against earth. Earth also represents the entire human world, as a matter of fact. And the next is 与人斗. 人 means people. Basically means to struggle against world people. So this is the communist ideology of Chinese Communist Party that teach the children from day one of schooling to struggle against heaven, to struggle against earth, to struggle against people. And the other term the Chinese Communist Party installed into Chinese people's mind is called 人定胜天, which means 人 means people, 定 must, 胜 means win, 天 means heaven or nature. So man must conquer nature. Basically, that's what it is. So, if you look at currently what's going on in America, in American society, and you look at the leftist ideology, and if you can penetrate through all those superficial, cover, the cover that actually are very attractive, such as, women's rights. Well, it sounds really great, isn't it? Women must have their rights. Equality, yes, very beautiful, right? Go green. Oh yeah, very, 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 very wonderful, right? Attracts lots of good people into the camp of leftists, right? Political correctness, and it's covered by this whole, called a liberal idea. Independence, freedom, equality, friendship, love, all that kind of stuff. Sounds very opposite to totalitarian communism. However, if you go through the superficial layer of it and go into the core of all these ideologies, and then if you ask those leftists about their faith and ask them whether they believe in tradition, ask them whether they believe in the divine, ask them, whether they follow the ideology called atheism, whether they believe in evolution theory, that men are just animals, whether they believe that men shall struggle against each other, also for independence, for equality, whether they believe in taking away, for the equality to take away the wealth of the rich and give it to the poor, and whether they believe in revolution. And then when you have further detailed discussion regarding their so-called socialist, idea about the human society, you very, very quickly realize that they are basically communists, They basically are one together with communism. But they know that communism, such an ideology, is not very attractive. So they cover it up with other ideologies that are very attractive. But in real practice, what is really going on in these people's mind, in America, in Europe, globally, if it is not in the nation, that communist ideology is connected with a national machinery, and in the free world, and how they actually started to numb up people's conscience and started to drag people into the utopia trap and gradually lose their conscience. I think that's called the communist variant in the Western world. And look at the current public school system, and look at the young children are being indoctrinated with what kind of ideology. And then you look at the current university campuses, and to find out what are being taught. And then you look at those big time professors, deans, the Ivy League school professors, famous such and such professors, they fall into the socialist, so-called Democratic Party, socialist, economics, whatever. Lots of pretty names, right? Women's rights, equality, right? All those kind of concepts. Oh yeah, global warming, right? Many themes, almost all themes. If it is rooted in the ideology of socialism, communism, atheism, evolution theory, modern science, and if they go out of their way to justify their means, and you see, that's the danger, right? In the Western world, it's much hidden. The communist ideology is much hidden, and a lot of people have already been totally numbed up by those ideologies, and they really starting to go against tradition, go against faith in God. They laugh at it. And the moment you mention about divine, the moment you mention about tradition, and they basically laugh at you, So they're not bad people. They are very, very wonderful people, most of them. But because of the entire world, after so many years of basically a hidden force, I would say, it is really a hidden force that people usually don't consider that, because it's now a material world. It's a pretty much atheist world, and most people don't understand what means divine, and they consider that's a concept. It's a religious concept, and it goes against modern science, and modern science is so powerful, and so they basically at the bottom of their heart, even those people go to church, even those people keep on saying, praying God for such and such, in the depths of their heart, even if they claim to be a religious person, in the depths of the heart, they actually have faith only in modern science. And they basically fundamentally believe in the power of technology and modern science, and believe that the potential of technology and modern science is limitless. Okay, and one day man will conquer nature, and one day man will, through technology, achieve immortality. And that comes to the field that Dr. Tang Wang was in, which is a frontier life science field. And when you look at the entire life science field and what they are trying to do and what they've been claiming, and you look at the whole history of the cancer research field, the Human Genome Project, the stem cell, the gene therapy, right, and all those kind of fancy stuff that the general public also start to learn through the media, and they believe that this is the hope, and this is the ultimate solution for their health problems. I believe President Trump in this area also might need to be enlightened quite a bit. People basically one hand said, I have faith in divine. The other hand said, we will conquer nature and we will play God ourselves one day. And this is a problem, right? So, yeah, that's why walking in the snow, the first snow of 2020, the year that symbolized a turning point for mankind, and one awakening of the humanity, the entire humanity awakening is around the corner. When the Shenying show is all over the world, and everybody went there and see the Shenying show and said, we truly experience, seeing the divine beings, and experience this tremendous, energy of enlightenment, and we become hopeful. We feel like born again. We have been blessed, and we are now hopeful. We're starting to understand what is true Chinese culture, and it changes our impression towards China completely, right? So those are the things that the Whole Elephant Institute recently, ever since the new year started, has been focusing upon. For what reason? On one hand, talk about the true nature of communism. On the other hand, talk about this great show called Shenying, and let the general public know about this great cultivation way called Falun-Dafa. I think those are the central themes very soon more and more people will focus upon. So that is a very important note right here. All right, we'll pause to enjoy this peaceful night. Snow is melting and the warm rain is coming down, and we're getting ready for the Chinese New Year. A lot of great things going to happen this year. So let's step forward with great hope.